Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the homework work and see if we can answer questions that you might have come across. So the questions that have been coming up is, do we have a test or quiz this week? No, we don't. Tuesday when we get back from break, we will have a quiz, but Friday will be a review day. Before break, Monday after break will be a review day as well. So we have some opportunities to make sure we're good. Will I give you homework over break? No.
Yay.
I know most of you can cry yourself to sleep about that. If you have other teachers that are, shame on them. It's called a break for a reason. You're working hard for a reason. Now, that doesn't mean if you have makeup work because you haven't done anything, then make up the work you owe over break, obviously. But if a teacher assigns you more homework over break, shame on that teacher. All right. Let me get to. Yeah. What did I do?
Being a bad teacher.
I am?
Not really.
It happens. Did I skip somebody?
No.
Did I make someone cry?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'll change. All right. I am on page 100. Page 100, that's the first page. Is there any questions on 1 through 7 you would like to take a look at? 1 through 7, any questions there?
7.
Number 7, okay. All right, so on problem number 7, we are using this equation. C at x equals 450 plus 3x. Okay, so this is a cost equation that deals with making candles for its place. So it says, number 7 says, hey, we have y equals $1,650 that somebody paid to make candles. Okay, so this is the equation used here for this candle shop. So if you go to a candle shop saying, hey, heard you make candles. They're like, yep. I want some candles made for me. You're going to have to pay $450 for a setup fee, and then for every candle they make, they're going to charge you $3 a candle. Does that make sense how I just said that? Okay, so now they're saying, hey, there's 1,650 candles, or $1,650 was charged to somebody. And that person's like, oh, I'm getting charged for this. How many candles did we have made? Okay, so where am I going to plug the 1,650 on this problem? Am I going to plug it in for both my x values, or am I going to substitute this for c at x? Thank you. Not here today. Sorry about that. Yeah, buddy. Am I going to plug it in for c at x, or am I going to substitute it in for my x values? C at x. So it's going to replace c at x. Okay, so I'm going to take this value here, this right here, and it plugs in, it substitutes in place. Okay, how would I solve that equation in red now? Subtract 450, okay, so that becomes 1,200 right here. And then divide by 3. So 400 what? Yeah, so 400 candles had been made and shipped. Whoa. Okay, so 400 candles were made. Which one do you want? 2. 2? Determine the output of the function when the input is 100. Okay, so I'm still going to use this. You're looking to figure out the output. When the input is 100. Okay? All right, so input, output. This here is going to get substituted in here and here. So this is going to give me C at 100 is equal to 450 plus 3 times 100, where that 100 is had been an x. So now I get 450 plus 300, so this would be 750. Okay? Yes.
How do you tell when they're telling you to plug in for CX versus when they're telling you to plug in just for X?
So C at x is your y value, so that's your output, it's your range. Okay? That's all it is. Go ahead.
Why do we have to put the input in each one?
Okay, so input means you're substituting in for your x value. So if I wanted C at smiley face, that would be 450 plus 3 smiley face. That's all it is. You're substituting, replacing, figuring out what's going in for something else. Output is what the answer result would be. Okay? What else? 1 through 7. I'm sorry? 5. Okay? An employee claims 200 candles would make made with total cost of $1,000. Does this look accurate? Okay, so number 5. This says, hey, 200 candles should cost $1,000. Is this accurate? Well, we have our cost equation, which is this. Okay, so I could do this one of two ways. I could do C at 200 so that's going to give me 450 plus 600. So that shows that 200 candles should cost 1,050. Or I could do it this way, where I could take this 1,000 and plug it in. I could substitute this 1,000 in for the whole thing. Subtract 450, so that becomes 550 equals 3x. Divide each side by 3. X equals 1, 5, 8, 3.3. So this either shows that 200 candles cost $1,050, so this estimate is incorrect. This shows that for $1,000 you get 183.3 candles made. What's 0.3 of a candle? Short one. Okay? So does this claim hold true? No. Other questions on up through 7? All right. I gotta lay this down. So flip down. No. Okay. So, other questions we came across on this problem. All right, so we're good on 100. Let's go to page 101, 8 through 14. Yeah. 14. Okay. So it says that a waitress works no more than 12 hours at any event. This being the case, state the domain and range for the function. Okay, so the story problem says a college student works part-time as a waitress for a catering company. She is paid a one-time amount for travel expenses to get to the location of the event that is being catered. The function is f at t is equal to 18t plus 15. Determine the amount of money she is paid when working T hours at one event. Use this information to calculate to answer the following questions. All right, so a few things that we need to know. This is the payment plan that this waitress is going to get. The waitress could drive out to an event and the boss might say, hey, we have enough people here already working. Go ahead and go home. Okay? So the waitress gets an automatic 15 bucks just for driving out to an event. Okay, seems good. The waitress will work no more than 12 hours. So, could the waitress work 0 hours and still get money? Yeah, they drove out to the event. Sorry, don't need you. You get 15 bucks. Okay? What's the maximum amount of time that they will work on a shift? 12. So the waitress can work from anywhere from 0 hours, so no work at all other than showing up, all the way to 12 hours and anything in between. So that's what my domain is. My range, so I have to look what my output would be. Okay? If the waitress showed up on scene, what does the waitress get? 15. So that's my minimum I'll make as a waitress working for this company. Okay? The maximum is 12 hours. So help me out. I don't know what 18 times 12 is. Anyone? 216. And then I'm going to add that to 15. So the waitress could make up to $231. So the waitress, just being employed at this business, if they are scheduled to work, will make anywhere from $15 to $231. And anywhere in between those. Okay. Could the waitress work a portion of an hour? Yes. A lot of companies round to the nearest quarter hour, so the nearest 15-minute mark. Okay. Any other questions up through number 14? All right. All right, let's go to the last page. Is there any questions on the last page that you want to go over? Yeah? 17. They want find x if y equals negative 5. Okay, so here's your equation. This right here is the same thing as y. Okay, so I'm going to plug negative 5 in there. If I subtract 1, multiply by 5, and then I divide by negative 3, x equals 10. So if you had plugged 10 in here, you would come up with an answer of negative 5. Any other questions on 102? Yeah. 15. So 15, they want us to find f at 25. So that means I'm substituting 25 in here and here. So that's going to give me f at 25 is equal to negative 3 over 5. There was an x here, now it's going to be a 25 added to 1. So that's negative 75 over 5 plus 1. So negative 75 over 5 is negative 15. So I should get negative 14. All right? Yeah. 20. They want you to calculate the function at 8. All right, so number 20, the function at 8. So I'm using the f at x equation. I'm going to use this one. So if I plug 8 in, I get 1.5 plus 0.7 times 8. So 1.5 plus 0.56, or 5.6, excuse me. And that's going to give me, what, 7.1? Number 18, that's a tougher one. And this is one you might not have thought of. Put the slopes in order of steep. Okay, so I have one slope of 0.7. I have one slope of 2 over 3. I have a slope of negative 2. And I have a slope of negative 7 over 2. So we need to figure out the steepness factor. What's the steepest slope? Positive and negative doesn't matter in this other than just the direction of the line. So this is 0.7. That's the same thing as 7 over 10. So I would just, in order to kind of get a visual on it, start from the origin and go up 7, 10, up 7, right 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right 10. So think about the steepness factor of that line, okay? And then let's think about a slope of 2 over 3. So again, from the slope, up 2, right 3. It's not quite as steep. Okay? A slope of negative 2. So down 2, right 1. So of the blue and the red, which one looks to be the steeper of the lines right now, of the blue and the red? The blue. Of the red, blue, and purple, which seems to be the steepest? Purple seems to be the steepest right now. And then let's do this one in black. Okay, so negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right 2. Which line seems to be the steepest? The black? If that was a slide, that would be the slide you want to take, right? The red slide's what Grandma takes. Right? Oh, let's go to the park, Grandma. I'm going to take the steep slide. Oh, be careful. Why does Grandma take the red slide? She's old. Bones are frail. She don't want to break something. You as a little kid, your bones are bendable, right? That's good stuff. All right. So this is the steepest, followed by this, then by this, then by this. So if you were to put them in order, you'd go negative 7 halves is the steepest, and then negative 2 is the next steepest, and then 0.7 or 7 over 10 is the next steepest, and then 2 over 3 is the last steepest. Okay? All right. Make sure your names are on your assignment. Pass them on in. If you need to staple it, please staple it. There's staplers up front. Yeah, I'm going to do some notes right now. Here they come. Here are 3. All right.
What? Here's a couple of your guys. Straight back. First few of them on here, the same time it's on. Thank you. Go just with me. Oh, you were there when we talked about
All right, let's do some notes. Yay. Thank you. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to be writing lines in point slope form. Point slope form is just this. This is one that some of you had trouble with, so make sure you're paying attention. Make sure we figure that out. So we're going to use this equation over and over again throughout the rest of this lecture, okay? So that's point slope form. It works when you have a point and a slope. Henceforth the name. No big mystery. All right. So first thing we want to do is we want to find slope. So slope equation is this go-to. Okay? We need to know it. So if I were to find the slope of this, I'd get 4 minus 4 over 5 minus 3. That's going to be 8 on top, 2 on bottom, so I get a slope of 4. Again, if I find the slope of this equation, I have negative 5 minus 1 over 2 minus 6. It gives me negative 3 over negative 4. Did I do that right? That's a 4, excuse me. If I could do math, I'd be a much better math teacher. Over negative 4, so negative 4 over negative 4 is 1, so I get a slope on that one is 1.
Is that negative 4 over 4?
Negative 4 over 4, yeah. Then it says write the equation in slope-intercept form, so we have to remember that's y equals mx plus b. Right? So, if I have this, that means I have y equals 2x plus b, and I take my x and y value and plug it in. 4 equals 2 times x, x we're going to plug 1 in, plus b. So 4 equals 2 plus b, so b equals 2. When I find that, I bring it right up here, and I get y equals, come on, change it. Y equals 2x plus 2. And then you have the times where I gave you the slope equation, or I gave you 2 points and you have to find the slope. So my slope equation, I have 5 minus negative 1, 6 minus 3. It gives me 6 over 3, which is 2. So again, if I use my slope equation, y equals mx plus b, I know I have y equals 2x plus b, and I need to pick one of my points to plug in. So I'll pick that one, plug it in. So I get 5 is equal to 2 times 6 plus b. And then 5 equals 12 plus b, so b equals negative 7. Take my new b value, plug it in right here. So then I'm going to get y equals 2x minus 7. And that's how those equations work. Doing all right? Am I going too fast? So that should be some review. We've worked on that before. Agree? Y equals 2x minus 7 right there. May I move on? All right. So given the point 3 comma 4 with a slope of 2, graph this line. So 3 comma 4, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's where that point is. And then a slope of 2, so I'm going to go up 2, right 1 from this line. This is what this linear equation looks like. Okay, so all we need to graph a line is one point in the slope. Remember, the slope acts as a map to find a second point. So we can use this information the same to use our point-slope form. Okay, this is where I'm going to show you to do less work to get the answer. Can I move on? All right, so your point-slope form is this. This is the equation. Okay? You're going to plug in for y1, x1, and m. When you plug your x1 and your y1 values are in, the opposite sign shows up. So if the point was 3 and 4, you'd get minus 4 and minus 3 plugged in for the y and the x's. Okay, so we'll explore that a little bit. Okay, so we have a slope of this and we have a point of this. Well, that's an x value and that's a y value. Agree? So let's plug in y minus y1. So y minus 7. Okay, notice this was a positive 7 here. Gets plugged in as negative 7. Slope is negative 3. Just plug that directly in. My x value is minus 1, or negative 1. So if I plug a negative 1 in here, what do I get? Plus 1. Your problem's done there. Don't go any further. So if on a test or quiz, I say, hey, find the equation of a line that, and I didn't specify what kind of equation of a line other than a linear equation, leave it as point slope. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. Second problem, this is an x value, this is a y value. I have a slope of 2/5. So y minus negative 8 is y plus 8. It's 2 over 5, x minus 10. This equation's done. Don't go any further. Okay? If I ask you to find the equation of the line, leave it in point-slope form. I'm going to show you why in a second. And then I know this is an x and this is a y value. So let's plug those in. I have a slope right here. So I have y minus 7, so y plus 7 equals 6, x minus 3. My equation of my line is done. So guys and girls, this is why this is great. Have you done any arithmetic on these problems, or have you just substituted in? Has any math taken place up there? No. So let's say you're doing a test or quiz, and the problem says, hey, give me the linear equation. Find the equation this works for. Leave it like this. If you choose to move forward, you might make an error. Agree? So this one, you'd have to distribute -3. Well, we already know the problem of distributing negatives, right? We sometimes forget. So let's say you go give me your answer is y equals mx plus b, and you made an error. You're losing points. Look at this one. We're distributing a fraction over. We already know how y'all feel about fractions. They're the best. Yeah.
Wait, so what does it say on the test when you have to do this? Just find the
It'll
line.
just say find the equation of the line, and then it'll just leave it as slope or point slope. And then this last one again, just be done with it. Don't go any further. Don't overthink it. Now, if it asks you for a specific type of linear equation, if it says, hey, put it in slope-intercept form, that means you need to distribute over the parentheses, bless you, and move your y component over, bless you. Okay? So if the test says, hey, find the equation, you're done. Don't go any further. Because if you make an arithmetic error later on the problem, that's not good news. So if it says leave it in point slope form, leave it in point slope form. May I move forward? All right. So now this one says, hey, we want you to find the equation in point slope form first. This is an x and a y. So let's plug those in. So I get y plus 3. Why is it plus 3? Yeah, the y value is a negative. And then I have 1/2 x minus 4. Okay? So this is my point slope answer. But then they say, hey, we want you to convert it to this now. So now you have to do your work. So distribute your half over the parentheses. Where'd the 4 go? Yeah. Turned it into 2 because I took half of 4. How'd you do that? Well, half of -4 is -2. Got it. All right. And then I need to solve this. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So now I get y equals 1/2 x minus 5. So this is this equation now. So if it asks for that equation, give that equation. If it just asks for the equation, leave it in point slope. Life okay? Okay. May I move forward? All right. All right. So let's see. A climber is scaling a 350-foot cliff at a constant rate. So they're going up a cliff at a constant rate. The climber starts at the bottom of the cliff at 11:45 a.m. and by 11:45 has climbed up 90 feet. Write a linear equation in function form that represents the distance. So let's see. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
350 meters slope.
Let's see. So let's figure out the slope first. How far and how long did it take a person to go 90 feet? 45 minutes. So 90 feet in 45 minutes. That's my slope. Agree? Okay. I guess we could reduce that a little bit. We could say that the slope of that 90 over 45 is 2. So this guy's doing 2 feet per 1 minute. That's the slope. Okay? This is so this is the point 90 comma 45 as well, right? I guess we quit at 11:45. Let's just figure this out. So how fast is the climber climbing? 2 feet per minute. At what time will the climber reach the top of the cliff? How tall is the cliff? 350 feet. They're doing 2 feet a minute. So 350 divided by 2. That's going to give me 125 minutes. Okay, 125 minutes is 2 hours, 5 minutes. Yes? There's 60 minutes in an hour. 60 goes in 125 twice with 5 minutes left over. So 2 hours, 5 minutes. So if the person started climbing at 11 a.m. and took up 2 hours and 5 minutes to climb, what time is it? How much? Yeah, 1:05 p.m. Or if you're in the military time, 13:05. That's all I got. So tomorrow you have page 104, 105 to do. Got it?
What?
Oh, and look at that. Number 19 already is done. Woo! 19 is done. Done and done. How do y'all feel? Did I do okay?
Yes.
I hate you.
Okay. All right. Did this record?